G'day, guys. How you going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thanks. Really excited to get up and chat to you guys today, but it almost didn't happen. I was driving on the motorway yesterday. I was listening to your record, and I forgot just how cinematic and visual those songs are to the consumer, and I just kind of forgot I was driving. It sent me to mental spaces that I shouldn't have been in whilst I was operating a vehicle.
I hope you signed the disclaimer before listening to it.
There should be a disclaimer with the record. It is amazing. Normal Isn't is the amazing new record came out earlier this year in the country real soon with a perfect circle playing across December. Great time of the year to come to Australia just quietly.
Mhm. Absolutely. We go from summer to summer.
I have to ask about the double drum kits, weird time signatures, public stoning. It's almost off-putting at first. The first couple of listens, I was like, hang on, this isn't right. And then your brain kind of bends to it and you go, this is absolutely right.
Yeah, there was something kind of pulling early on that was like this has to be a double drum
I don't think there's not
part.
many people that realize that, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised up on that. Are you a drummer?
Am I a drummer? No. Used to produce electronic music, so weird time signatures and weird drum inputs kind of make a little bit more sense to me than maybe most.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Gunnar and I went to Kansas City, what were like 6 days, and we just kind of engulfed ourselves in drums and experimenting and trying things out. And I had kind of built demos of a lot of the stuff, so I kind of knew, you know, roughly, or at least, sketched out versions of what we kind of wanted, and then just having a big block of time to do nothing but drums was really fun and rewarding, I think.
How
And
many
it's
drum kits did you use across the record, just for interest?
probably 7 or 8.
Does it feel like a kid in a candy shop sometimes? You're like, I want all of it, but I don't know where to stop or I don't know where to start.
Well, we there was some method to it where we had, so the room was kind of a long, not narrow, but a long room, and then we kind of set up a vintage vibe kind of kit, mono kind of vintage vibe thing at one end of the room, and then at the other end was a more traditional kind of modern thing. And then we would kind of swap out pieces to fit the song. So, it kind of started with those two juxtapositions, and then depending on, if we got a sound and it felt like a certain vibe, then we might be like, okay, let's put that on these three songs, and we bounced around quite a bit. And there was other songs where then maybe we found another kit and we're like, well, let's try this kit on the same song and track it again, and then there was a lot of that. Having 6 days to just do nothing but drums, you'd end up experimenting quite a bit, and I don't know, it was fun.
In a lot of this process, you're all kind of working externally to each other. Of course, Maynard embracing Logic on this to do some weird kind of vocal inputs in his hotel room, etc. Karina, are you doing the same? Are you applying your own sort of vocal practice before you're actually going in to track the vocals for the record?
Uh, well, there's two different kinds of tracking that I do for the record. So there's the initial writing of the parts tracking, which is done in private in my own studio with my own eventide and just like nerding out with effects and playing for hours. It's there, it's my version of what he was talking about, going and being with drums for 6 days. And it's just me with a bunch of effects trying to create an emotional landscape with these songs and build something around what's already there that turns the song into what I hear it that I want it to be for me. And then oftentimes the effects that I use, um, predominantly an old 80s Eventide outboard rack, are a huge part of how it turns out. It's not
Yeah.
just, oh, I'm going to sing a part and then put an effect on it. It's like a big part of what it turns into. And then there's the tracking that happens. For instance, we're on the Sasanta tour, and for the most part, we have all of the emotional stuff that we need and all the vocal ideas and parts. But we're going to go into a studio one day and nail certain backing vocal parts or certain vocal parts or overdubs and stuff like that. So for the earlier stuff, I'm locked in my cave with my toys, weirding and nerding out. And then we'll have a day in the studio on a day off on tour where we all go in and we just knock out, okay, let's do a cleaner version of this. So there's two different. I don't know what the question was.
A question for you both, I guess. How often is the first take the one that actually goes into the final mix? Because I mean, obviously you want to keep doing an extra take, seeing if you can do it better. But how often is it just that first one that's the right take?
It's pretty often. I think there's something about that headspace that you get in that you're not necessarily in when you've got a checklist of things you need
Yeah,
to grab. It's a different headspace that you're in. So there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff from those initial kind of demos that end up making it on the record because you can't top it,
yeah.
or there's a unique quality that's just there that stands on its own. So I mean, what?
Some things just cannot be done again.
Yeah.
Also,
We're looking forward to this tour coming up throughout December. Puscifer, a perfect circle, livenation.com.au, Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, a couple of shows at beautiful venues in Sydney and Brisbane as well. Looking forward to the river stage. It's going to lend itself well to the theatrics and visuals of the live show. And I wonder when you're making the record, when you're tracking, when you're mixing it, how often are you thinking about how these songs will translate live? Are you thinking about the visual aspect? Are you already thinking about that multimedia aspect? How much of that is thought of throughout the band, and how much is it potentially just singular thought?
I mean, for me, it's when we've kind of whittled down what the album's going to be and we know what the collection of songs are going to be, and those songs start to kind of weave into each other. That's when the story starts to come together, and that's when there's enough mental energy left to start thinking about the live show and things like that. But the early on, it's really just about emotion and getting an idea out, and then yeah, and then as the songs start to come together and as the album starts to get closer to finished, that's when the themes start appearing, and the visual elements and all the other associated bits kind of come into focus.
yeah, they're kind of dictated by the story, which comes together when he's writing lyrics.
Mhm.
Does that mean there's a lot of rehearsal time? Are you literally scrambling before tour to get around each other and perform these songs live? Is there a lot of rehearsal time pre-tour?
Yeah, there's a fair amount. There won't be on this next one because we've kind of done a lot of the hard work already, but certainly when a record is done, because that's really when since we're not thinking about the live show when we're writing the record, when we finish the record, we have to then pivot and figure out how we're going to um, perform these things and still best represent the song. So there's a lot of kind of puzzle pieces to figure out who's doing what and how best to accomplish some of the
There's a lot of
parts.
pre-production time before rehearsals.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
most of us in, I think.
For anyone who hasn't seen a Puscifer show before, I'd encourage them to get along to this tour, particularly in Brisbane, the River Stage, and the Carriage Works in Sydney. Both venues will really absolutely lend themselves to the entirety of the show. There's always a beautiful juxtaposition across your records between cleverness and sometimes a bit of crass. Have you got a favorite lyric off of the new record?
Hmm. I mean, of course, the one that everyone comes back to is I don't know what it's called right now. You're an idiot. what is it called?
Self-evident.
Self-evident. Just that kind of the way that he has of creating a certain mood, and using lyrics that coming out of anyone else's mouth, you would just be like, this, I can't even take this seriously, but somehow it, you know, he just has a way of making it great.
It's almost like musical therapy in a sense, like when you go to your therapist and they say, "What are they actually talking about?" And then it hits you a couple of minutes later. It's a great record. If you haven't checked it out already, Normal Isn't is available everywhere now. Puscifer in the country later this year. Something we'd love to ask everyone who comes on the show, whatever they do for a living, what was the first album that you ever owned? Do you remember what that was, how it came in your possession, and maybe how it impacted your career thereafter?
You want me to go first?
Yep.
I know the first record that I purchased was Missing Persons. What's the name of the record?
Walking in LA.
That's on that record. Um, it was the first Missing Persons record, and I liked the drums on it. I liked the kind of angularness of it. I liked that she was just the epitome of 80s,
Mhm.
new wave. Uh, I don't know. That was kind of the first record I bought. What was your first record?
My first record was a vinyl of Monty Python songs.
Nice.
Yes. Amazing. And both of those records definitely lend themselves to some of the stuff coming through on the new album as well. So and throughout the career. Big Monty Python household here. So I love that answer, Karina. That's sensational.
I had
Matt,
no idea
Karina.
for the cover, and I got it home. I was like, what the fuck is this? Little did I know.
I can remember watching those movies with Dad a lot as a young boy and thinking, what the fuck is going on? And then you get old enough to realize and you think, what was Dad thinking? Letting me watch this stuff. Matt, Karina, it was a pleasure to chat to you today. Looking forward to these shows in December, particularly the River Stage. Hopefully catch you there. And thank you so much for your time. Good luck for what's next and for the tour.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.